We're also gonna make chocolate macaroons. We're gonna use raw cacao so that they're very healthy, and it's a guilt-free dessert that you can make and keep in your fridge or freezer and eat as a sweet treat throughout the day. Time to make some healthy chocolate macaroons. They're gonna be raw and delicious. You can keep them in the fridge or the freezer and eat them as much as you want without guilt, because they're all great for you. We're gonna add all the dry ingredients, all the wet ingredients, mix it together, put it on a plate, and then put it in the refrigerator to chill for several hours. So we have already measured out. I have 1.5 cups of the almond flour. I have 3 cups of the coconut flakes. So we'll go ahead and mix those together. And we're also gonna add in our cacao powder, which is 1/2 cup. Oh, I guess it is about right. So there we go, 1/2 cup of that. And we are going to just mix that up. Super simple. So quality ingredients, simple whole foods, and you can make a really healthy, delicious dessert. You can see how this almond flour is kind of clumping up a little bit. You want to make sure to try to mix that in as well as possible so that you don't have any clumps in those macaroons. So get it all nice and evenly mixed. Okay, so we'll set that aside here. And then in this other bowl, we are going to mix our coconut oil melted. Now this is about 4.5 tablespoons. It's melted. I just put it near the stove. I didn't need to like heat it. We don't want to heat it, right? We want to keep it nice and raw and unrefined. So I just put it near the heat, just enough to take it to this liquid state. And we're gonna add that to the bowl there. We're also gonna add 1 cup of maple syrup. It sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But these are cookies, and this is gonna be the only sweetness that it gets. So 1 cup of maple syrup. That was a little shy of maple syrup. We can add a little bit more in just a moment. And we're gonna give it just a touch of sea salt. All right, we're gonna add just a little bit more to make sure we make up that whole cup there. All right. There we go. And we're gonna give this a nice whisk. Mix it all up. So just like baking regular cookies that you might be used to traditionally, we've got the wet ingredients, the dry ingredients, and we're gonna go ahead and mix those up. I'm gonna make sure to get all the liquid out. We need all the liquid we can get. At first, it seems like it's not gonna be enough liquid to coat, but we are just going to keep mixing and mixing and mixing until it's all coated. Okay? So you can see that pretty much coated it, and then I'm going to use my hands to make little balls as we add these to the sheet pan. Now I always want to use parchment because we don't want these to get stuck on the baking sheet. We don't want to lose any of that goodness. So I have prepared a baking sheet, again using that parchment so that it doesn't stick. Okay, and then the best way to measure out these scoops to see how big you want. If I had a smaller scoop, you could use a scoop. I like to use just a plain old spoon and kind of use my hands to make the little cookies like so. So I just kind of crunch them down just like that. They're like little moon shapes. And when I put these in the refrigerator or the freezer, they are gonna hold together. Right now they're not super cold, so they might crumble just a little bit. All right, we've got our first tray ready to go. I'm gonna put this one in the fridge to let it cool, and then I'm gonna move on, make the second tray, and we'll have some delicious macaroons in a little while.